Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful weather. We thank you for each and every person that is here. I pray that you be with them, bless them, protect them, lead them, and guide them. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Back if you have minutes from the March 19th meeting.
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Yeah, I just realized something. Go ahead.
Second.
James seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The committee reports, the chamber present.
Good evening. The Chamber just wants to thank the council for the attention that you have placed on the tourism account and some delayed collections, and we're going to continue working forward on that matter. Just want to say thank you for that. We also want to inform the public that the Kennett J.C.'s are working on their Show Me State Barbecue Cook-Off. At the last meeting, we made an allocation for them, and they've been notified of their award amount. New this year is a second demolition derby and a state cook-off. That will be the first time they've had a state cook-off, and we're hoping we can get some local interest in that. It should be a fun event on Friday evening. If anyone has questions, they can call the chamber staff or any JC member. And Kennett Chamber is currently taking applications for our 2019 Leadership Kennett course. Your department heads have been a great help in that in the past, and I'm hoping to help me going forward. We are taking applications through the end of this month, and we will begin that next month. Anyone who is a professional in the community and is looking to expand their leadership role personally or professionally or with their community is encouraged to apply. You can learn a lot about your community. And finally, we're inviting all of you in the business community to the Kennett Chamber Banquet on April 29th. Our guest speaker will be Mr. Don Downing, a Kennett native who's now a St. Louis attorney, and we will recognize several outstanding community members at that event. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda, I do not have a copy of last week's minutes. I was wondering.
I know, I realized as he was saying that, I thought, ooh. But I can get you a copy for sure. You want me to go get them now? Or you?
Later's fine.
Okay.
So I didn't look.
Well, I thought when I was putting them together, I thought this went off so quick.
Finance,
Well, being this early in the month, we don't have our numbers in for the month of March, so I don't have anything at this time.
we get the numbers, you're going to be starting the budgeting process
Yep.
shortly after.
Yep.
Nothing for the public at this time.
Any resource,
Nothing for the public at this time on that.
police,
Nothing for the public, but we will have a closed meeting afterwards.
street,
Got the bids coming in April 9th. As soon as we get the information on the bids, we're gonna have to have a street department meeting, street committee meeting, I'm sorry, to determine how much money we have for this coming year. Taking into account Third Street, different things like that. But we're gonna have to work quick once we know what's gonna happen with the money. So be prepared after the 9th for any given day to have the street committee meeting. That's it.
stormwater,
Gonna let Randy can handle it when he gets to his committee.
okay. Departmental reports, fire,
A little bit of activity, sent to over Poplar Bluff to the state's fire investigation class. That was a free class about 2 weeks ago. And so one is tested out already, the other will be testing again for their national certification on that. Code enforcement, Victor attended, Randy, I don't know if it was stormwater or a floodplain.
It's a combination.
It's all water, so.
Combination.
He went to that meeting
The water meeting.
last week, and I guess he's briefed Randy on some of that stuff. Mow crew, they have begun mowing. We've got 2 of them. They're doing pretty good right now. We'll continue on with just 2. I think we may this summer, if we get rains and grass really gets going, we'll come back to you, but I think 2 people right now have saved some funds, are able to handle it. We did have some, service work.
And I seen that.
I won't say they were the most energetic, but we did have some
I
service work.
seen a couple and I was excited.
Animal control, as you've probably seen on the news, and we've suspected this for quite some time, and of course, Tina and Kayla's been diligently working this, and they finally got some video, individual dumping off a dog. I'm gonna tell you, she's, been able to file stuff before, and if we find out who, or who they are in the future, she will file charges.
Would it have been easier just to call the police station and ask about that license plate number than going through all the drama and everything?
Well,
It was a clear cut license plate online and then made that post.
you know, the thing is, she cleared it with the city attorney before it was posted, is what I was told, on posting that video. You know, I don't know how KFS was down here the same day on the fire as it was that.
I mean, it just seems like it'd been easier to just get a license plate number and go to the police station, see who it was, and go to their house than go to all this.
And I didn't go online and see it, I just seen what it was on the video, so I didn't get into it. But anyway, I've suspected it for a long time that's been occurring. We're the largest city here, have an active animal control, and it's easy just to let go and someone will find it, make it a home, or it'll go somewhere. Do you have something?
Yeah, we didn't really, I mean, put the guy's face on there, and I get that you're not just supposed to drop the dog off, but we don't even know if that was his dog at the time it was shared.
He did it though.
Yeah, but if I find a dog in my yard biting me and my kids, I'm gonna,
No, you're gonna
Take
call
it
the police.
I would shoot it.
Well, for
But
sure.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
No, the dog
I think
was
the whole thing was
chasing.
handled poorly.
Man,
I'm sorry.
I think that should be the last resort, is putting it on Facebook.
I don't
I do too, without knowing what's going on. I think it was handled poorly.
Well, here's, the text I got was that the tags were hard to see.
Everybody on the post though told her what it was.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what was, when she asked if it was okay to post it, the text to me was, the tag is hard to see, and they're trying to get clear pictures of the tag.
I read it,
I mean,
and lots of other people on there. were
that's the
posting.
information I had.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Well, did they find him then?
They just looked up the license plate that was in the video.
I'll get with her and discuss it.
It was just
But
in my
at
opinion.
least you should appreciate you have somebody that's being aggressive enough to try and curb, because everyone that's dumped in here is more money off our budget by some way to get rid of it. Want to say thanks to Crothersville and CN Fire Departments for their assistance last week and coming over where we had the house fire on Emerson.
Y'all did a good job with that.
I just hope we didn't offend nobody, it's on TV.
Yeah, no, I don't think that doing your job doesn't offend, the prior wasn't doing the job.
They were in town for some of this other stuff and I were called and come by but it was quite, I mean, we have, and there was nothing illegal about what a person has. A lot of us have, guys like to do hobby stuff and are gonna have a barbecue grill, you're gonna have a propane tank. We've had oxygen tanks to explode in a house before and took out 2 or 3 people with the explosion of their ears, eardrums and hearing for a while. It's just that brings the point of how dangerous the job can be because you don't know everybody's house. And we all have stuff, whether it's ammunition or whether it's old fireworks from last year we didn't destroy or use up or whatever. But that's just part of the dangers of the job. It's just thankful no one was hurt and thankful that every fire we go to isn't that
Yeah.
spectacular.
But you gotta
It was well hauled when we got there, so, you know, the good thing is we was able to keep the neighbor's house from burning. It was already starting to catch up when we got there.
Yeah.
So, just want to say thanks to them. We called, they came in. First wave of people were working and get wore out pretty quick, so it's good to have a second wave. And we'll do the same for them if they call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John, for a job well done. I was by there about between 5 and 6 hours after the fire broke out, and they were still working very hard. It was an exhausted bunch of people. They did a good job on that.
And I appreciate you going and getting us something to eat.
That was the easy part. Luis?
The only thing I have right now at this time, I just want to inform the council, we did get a grant from Walmart for an amount of $2,000 for, go toward body cameras, which we'll start, look toward the purchase of that this week. I just want to thank Steve Foster and his crew for securing that grant for me, it's greatly appreciated. And other than that, that's all I have for the council.
What was that amount again?
$2,000.
What's the gap left over from, didn't you have some money coming for the vests? Or no? Did we?
We're looking into getting some more vests. Right now, I've heard of some money coming for the vests, it just hadn't been secured yet. How's that?
Okay, but the 2,000 would help a lot.
Yeah, it would use those for the purchase of body cameras. Other than that, that's all I have.
Is Martin participating in the grant, in the vest?
We're looking in a grant for the vest. We could not apply for it until April 1st. And as long as we purchase the vest after April 1st, we qualify for the grant to get reimbursed for it. That may be what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Street?
Start on the streets first. Like I reported last time, 3rd Street pipe work is done. Concrete's been poured on Anthony, and it's been cured and it's open. It was poured on Hopper, and should be able to open it tomorrow. The contractor's still got a little bit more cleanup to do there before we open it up, but should have both those concrete intersections open. The asphalt on that will depend, I mean, our timing on that will depend after with the grant opening before we know, what streets we might be able to do or not be able to do and stuff like that. But it'll be early on when we do get that information out there. We'll, that'll be one of our priorities to get started on that.
When do you expect 3rd Street to be open?
Tomorrow. Most of the streets open now, it's just at those intersections that it's closed.
Yeah, the whole thing will be open tomorrow?
I mean, depending on the contractor finishing his work there at the Hopper Street intersection. From King on down, it's been open all this time. It's just been those 2 blocks that have been closed. The bad news is, again, still is the holes down existing pipe down close to Buffalo Ditch. Tie 3rd Street and 5th Street together. Got more information on 5th Street. Sewer is about 14 feet deep, sanitary sewer is about 14 feet deep down through there. So they're looking at using a contractor for that. And at least one of them was in town today and we talked to him about that. So that'll depend on how the city, I guess, and water handles that type of thing. But the contractor's also going to give us a quote on finishing 3rd Street in case we want to, go down through there and do that while they're here. It's like a mobilization charge, or we'll split it, or I don't know how that'll work. But it's actually the same contractor, and he said the price per foot would be cheaper for this since it's not as deep and so on. So we are exploring, at least having some information to work with on that, possibly finishing that job too. More good news, the sweeper went down again yesterday. With one hydraulic hose for sure, maybe two. Kind of got tore apart today. Looks like we're probably looking at maybe $1,200–1,300 to fix it. Put it back in service, but the bad thing is, the technician probably can't get to us for about 30 days to do that.
You stick a lot of $1,200 or $1,300 in that thing, don't you?
Yes.
Everything depends upon that April 9th bid opening, to know how we're gonna deal with so many different situations.
Nothing new. Mike Kenny, I'm short employees still. Two we talked to didn't pan out, so we're still looking. Worked today with the contractor out on Dollar General is going to be doing the dirt work and preparation for the concrete. Saw cut part of the curb off on the west side to make their addition of the third lane. So it's going to be a little inconvenient there for people. It's going to be a little bit short, and then when they start pouring concrete, there'll be stuff down through there. So it'll be a narrow lane going south on that. But unfortunately, progress sometimes is a little inconvenient for people. You've got your council report and your mileage report in your packet. On stormwater, like Don said, Victor was at the combination conference last week, and we haven't gotten together. He's been back trying to catch up the last couple of days. So don't have a whole lot of information on that. Working with the chamber through stormwater, they put stormwater tips in their newsletter the first of the month. This last one was a little bit longer, and Melissa was gracious enough to post it on their website. It's about businesses having dumpsters on their property and residents having trash containers, and the need to keep the lids closed on that when they're open. It collects water and lets stuff blow out of it. That's still on the property owner. If the trash is on your, then they give it to the container. It is, if the trash is there, it's yours. It doesn't become a trash company's until they start picking it up. And so Melissa was gracious enough to put that lengthy thing on there. And if it's all right, I'd like to post that on the city website too, so it'll be in both places. The next thing is an idea I'd like to throw out in combination with the e-waste pickup, with the campaigning that's been going on and discussion at the council meetings about the need to clean up Kent. Friendly Waste has done a Earth Day pickup, clean up Kent, where they have people come in and pick up trash around Kent. They've headquartered out of the American Legion. I would like to throw out the idea that the city would possibly pay for having a dumpster, excuse me, a roll-off out there to haul the trash off that is picked up that day, instead of that being all on Friendly Waste, to where we're participating in helping clean up our town, not leaving that all on one business, and then follow through with that. We have 3 roll-offs. Excuse me. We have 3 roll-offs at the compost where people come in and pay to dump at a reduced rate, where the city's still subsidizing that. That would possibly bring in additional 3. We have 6 down there, and we possibly do a half price one day on April 20th. And we can get a lot of this stuff picked up and paid. It wouldn't necessarily mean that we couldn't have another cleanup, day or whatever, but that we would have 6 roll-offs down there available for that one day to try to clean up our town, where the people bring the stuff out there to the compost. Just like to throw that out for your discussion.
Could we do a week instead of a day?
That's up to you. I was just proposing a day.
Would that matter on price wise, or?
Can we get a price both ways?
I took the liberty of contacting Republic, who has the roll-offs out there, and Marco for bids on that for just one day. We're looking at possibly doing it April 20th. Earth Day is April 22nd. And Friendly Waste is going to do their pickup on that Saturday, the April 20th. That wouldn't mean we have to do the compost at the same time. I just took the liberty to ask them to have some money, or have some bids in here today, because the next council meeting will be right before that. And it'd be difficult possibly for them to come up with empty roll-offs and get the advertising out. Just out for discussion. I asked Leslie today, there's approximately $135,000 in the cleanup.
134 something.
Okay, but I mean, so, I know we've got houses, that are scheduled and stuff like that. We've been paying, it's been costing the city, every month is different, approximately $1,000 a month to handle the roll-offs out there at the compost. And we handle a different number of roll-offs every month, so it's hard to say exactly what it's costing us. But one time we'll collect $260, and the next time we'll collect $380, on that particular roll-off. It just depends on what people bring in. So it's kind of hard to
So
tell.
we gotta have an estimate though, what it's gonna cost us before we can make a decision.
Well, that's the reason we'd ask for
Yeah.
the two quotes or whatever, so.
Since we're looking at one day at this point, how about if what we do is we look at having that service for free to encourage the use of it? And then when we go back later on, if we have to do it a week, we look at a half price at that time, but.
Just like a little mini spring cleanup.
Yeah, and I don't think it's gonna cost us that much, but,
I don't know what Marco's numbers are, but I'm just gonna throw out a figure, of maybe $500 to $600, just for discussion purposes, and I don't know what you're, I'm not trying to, there's two of them up there in writing and that type of stuff, so.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. Of course, they always underbid everybody, but, yeah, it's a pretty fair assumption. $550 a piece.
and we'd make back a little bit if we do half price, but I think we'd be better off to encourage the use of the dumpsters, the use of the roll-offs and get it done.
Yeah.
If
Kind of
you'll
clear out
do
the
that, I'll get the property maintenance and send them letters out to the people that have those mattresses. And
Yeah, that's exactly what I
get them
was
down
thinking.
there that day or going to court.
Yeah,
Good idea.
it's a good way to get rid of it.
If we're gonna do it, probably the easiest way.
Some people may not even know it exists out there.
Right, so I'm gonna make the motion that we,
Now, I'm sorry, I think last time we did the spring cleanup last year behind the fire station, wasn't a good spot, I don't believe. It was kind of tight in there. But with it being central to town instead of the compost, when we do the spring cleanup, if we could do it inside the city limits somewhere, that way people see it. I need to get rid of my
find a
stuff.
parking lot.
Yeah, I need to get, fairgrounds would be great if we could.
What about next door?
What about what?
I just said, what about next door on the Riggs parking lot?
We could rent that
Big area?
parking lot for.
Well, that's the next project.
Yeah, next project, yeah.
So my motion is that we tie this roll-off campaign into,
The e-waste and the
I'm sorry, to the cheapest bid, and that we offer this service for free to the citizens.
On April 20th, Saturday, at the compost?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
you've got two bids up there.
That's the same.
We do have bids in.
There's one from Republic.
So we can continue to work towards our other cleanup.
Mark.
time is that? 7?
I can tell you.
7 to 3.
What time?
Is that all right to do it our normal hours out there, 7 to 3?
Say again?
The normal hours at the compost on Saturday is 7
Well, let me
a.m. to
ask you
3.
this, are you gonna wanna, what if you get more than 6 roll-offs full? Because on a Saturday, it's gonna be hard to dump.
Oh, they're not gonna dump, the public said they weren't gonna dump that, they pick them up on Monday out there.
Well,
First serve.
I could
First
work,
come,
I
first
could
serve.
work it out to where I could dump on Saturday, if that helps your bid at all.
That's up to you.
I don't know, I mean, the public is basically $310 plus tonnage.
What's their
And,
ton, well, I mean,
well, whatever it is, I mean,
yeah.
it's,
Well,
it is
Well,
what,
then,
whatever.
don't give us a figure of
do they
No.
have a
per ton?
Correct.
$200 per haul,
What's the ton?
well, 46.58,
$46.58.
$46.58.
Those normally run about 3.5 tons, 4 tons.
What's the number?
Well, it's,
525.
in part, the car container is one roll off at American Legion, $5.50, 3 ton included, 52 per ton. If over 3 roll offs at compost, $5.50 a piece, 3 tons included, $52 a ton after.
You get 3 tons, over 3 tons in orders.
What was the 310 for
I thought
and the 4658? The first numbers you gave us.
The first number was just disposal rates, 46.58 per ton.
I couldn't understand it, so Brenda and I looked at it, we couldn't understand it, so I called Republic. They've got a $200 charge and they've got a $110 charge
Oh, pickup charge?
for that, and then
That's
it's
where the 310 is coming from?
$310,
Uh-huh.
drop it and pick it off, and then it's $45, $46, whatever it is, per
58 per
ton.
ton. Okay. So width, average is about 5 1/4.
Yeah, they're $25 cheaper than that, but I get 3 tons.
Tons included. That's the same.
I'm doing that a loss anyway.
We can.
I mean,
Some more, shouldn't it?
Mark will probably look at it and tell us exactly what it's going to be, but.
Well, the problem, the difference is your tonnage, you don't know what it's gonna be.
Right, that's
And
true.
that's where you run into hard times bidding this stuff and who's gonna be cheaper. Because if I'm giving you 3 tons, and then they're not giving you any, I don't know, the math, it really works out. It really depends on if you want more dumped on Sunday, Saturday or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, just like I told you, I mean, I don't know, but,
I don't know if that's
if we have
the-
3 out there normally and we bring in 3 more, could we use 10 more? Do we don't need all 6 of those? I don't know, what we're gonna get brought out there.
I mean, from what you've heard, could you be the low bid?
Could I be? Yeah. I could- Yeah.
Because in order to get it, you have to be the low bid.
Yeah.
It's not lowest and best, but it's a member of the council of law.
Yeah, no.
You have to be the low bid.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna be in the next one, so I think that the way they have it set up, it looks like they're probably cheaper.
And, we can have Leslie pull a month, 6 months, 3, whatever, but the weight's gonna vary in those too, but we do accept concrete out there, which runs that up. I wouldn't expect we would take any concrete on a free pickup type thing, or something extremely heavy of that nature. I mean, that would be up for you all to set some rules if you wanted to.
56, got 58, this time. You say it's 310 is what their base was?
Yes.
200 and
Yes.
110?
Yep.
210 plus tonnage.
They're gonna be. They're gonna be a cheaper option.
So, motion to go with Republican.
Second.
That way you don't lose money on it.
Yeah, right.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Thank you, Marco.
You want to put I mean, we don't accept batteries and tires and oil and paint and stuff like that anyway. And you want to put a restriction on there this time, no concrete or some extremely heavy items or not?
I think it would be wise.
Nah,
I think you
Yeah,
should.
everything.
should do everything,
Because if
get
they load
rid
it
of
up,
it.
they load it up and don't know it's gonna be on a back road anyway.
Yeah, if they're running on the track.
Okay, that's fine. I was
Yeah.
just looking for some direction for us out there.
Yeah, this is standard.
That's the standard procedure.
Say, bring the truck tires to you.
I've got plenty of room. I can feel this road twice.
We'll put that in and take tires out.
We talked about that today. We talked about that. They own the land. They
Okay. On the Arabank membership, when I was very first talking to the representative, she wasn't sure how much it would be per employee. And where I came from, it was $55, and she said that would probably be doable. She didn't guarantee anything, whatever. So now that I'm talking with the man who's the membership chairman or whatever, he's like, we're going up, we can't do it for 55, it's 65. Well, the council had approved the 55, but now they're going up, it's 65 per employee now. So with an average of 67 employees, that would be a difference of $670. I just need to see if y'all will
For
approve
how
that.
many years is that?
1
Just
year.
1 year?
1 year.
Don't you get a discount for more than 1
That-
year?
No, because they gave me their sheet and I tallied it. They gave it for like several years, but each year was still the same amount. It wasn't any cheaper.
What's the regular membership if you're not getting a discount or for that many
65.
people?
Because that's what I paid for mine. Mine's already paid. I already
So
paid
why
that.
we gotta pay 65 for more people then?
They don't give you any kind of bulk discount.
Apparently not. They said they're gonna quit doing that.
Brenda, I'm sorry, interrupt, but members of the chamber are supposed to get a discount down to $55, so you should get a discount to
See, the bank
I'd
does
say
too.
we stick with the 55 that was originally.
Well, when I called them today about the bank, because I called the bank to see if they're still paying 55, because I know when I worked there, I paid it, and it's how much it was. And they did, and so I called the man back and I said, I know of a company that doesn't have as many employees as we do, and they're getting it for 55. And he said that is the old rate, this is the last year they'll get it for that. When they pay again, it's gonna be 65.
This was just January when they pitched me that.
Remember who you talked to?
Little lady, Amy.
Why can't they give us the same rate then for this year and then when they go up on everybody else, we go up too?
I can ask.
Well, I would stick with the 55.
Okay.
That's just me. Well, whatever you want to do.
Or could be a case where the city would pay the 55 and the employee would pay the other 10.
No, it's not the $10 that we can afford the 670, it's just the principle of it. If everybody else gets it for 55, for a smaller group, we should be able to get the same.
What is
Well,
it?
the bank just paid theirs in November, because theirs comes due every November.
Melissa said,
And
see,
and she
she
just
was
said
given
January.
price in January.
Where's the other company? What's their name? What's their name?
Survival.
What are they?
They're here.
Think they do it for 55?
They do it for 40.
Yeah, they do it for 40, where, got them
And
going.
the helicopter's right there.
Why are we not going?
And if
We are.
We're
Well,
doing both, yeah.
We're trying to do both.
Because you don't know which one you're gonna fly with. You
I
can't
think-
shoot if they call you.
I don't think they're
or
worth almost twice as much.
Most likely you will get survival because they're here.
it's up to the paramedic.
I know.
They call, and we just had one where the local doctor called survival flight to set it up. When the medic got there, he spun it over to air attack.
Yeah, I see.
something. Or if it's a case where there's several people involved, you may need several helicopters.
Does everybody know what they're doing?
They have to send
Yeah.
I'm still going.
They just had some kind of a big regional meeting for, where both companies were there, and the lady from the other company told me she knew what Mary Jack was doing for a while. So she was there when they talked about it.
Wow.
Anyway. I tried to get them down there.
Well, let's leave it as we will, right now.
Yeah, just tell them we didn't approve it and see if they'll come down to 55.
Second,
Try again.
Yeah.
You make that motion?
Okay.
Second. All in favor?
I mean, have we ever paid for, we don't, usually don't pay, offer both of them anyway, do we?
This was.
Usually it's just one.
Since
I
the
thought.
hospital shut down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the rate. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't charge us $10 more for 67 people.
Or we could have the employees pay for it.
Just see what.
Let's see what happens,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's not worth the $600.
renegotiate it and see what happens.
The motion is to renegotiate, all in favor?
Aye.
I have nothing to report tonight. Looking forward for public comments.
Not even gonna let Randy go first.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I'm sitting in a different seat, I'll call out.
Yeah, you're on.
I know you didn't see her stand
Well, I'm
up.
coming in a little late. I talked with Matt Skelton and Mitzi Dell in the past 2 days, and 3 packets have been picked up. They've had more inquiries, but they've had 3 packets that have been picked up so far, so we should have 3 bids next Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll go back to my new regular seat. Sorry, Charlie.
Your turn, Nancy.
I'll try to be as quick, but I don't think I'm gonna be as quick. So, my name is Heather Vaughn. I was born, raised, always lived here. My children live here, my grandchildren live here. About a year ago, I inherited my grandfather's home. We are now 5 generations to live in this home. So we are trying to preserve it, to keep it, in the family. Well, we are having some issues. We have gone through the fire department, we have gone through code enforcement, and we have gone through the police department. We have found numerous crack pipes in our backyard. There is litter, there's trash. We are constantly harassed by our neighbors. There are food scraps thrown over the fence, which attracts stray dogs, which a few weeks ago, those stray dogs tore our chicken coop apart, killed all of our chicken, or killed all of our chickens. This is an ongoing problem. We don't know how to fix it. We don't know how to stop it. There's just trash everywhere.
What's that?
602 South Anthony is my address.
The house, that what you're talking about?
That is my house.
602 South.
Yes. The trash is constant. We constantly clean it up, but it comes right back. It's, the alleyway behind us is actually not our property. It belongs to the city, but yet we do keep it clean. We have cleaned out the brush because the brush was grown up, but yet it's constant. It's every day. We have our neighbors, like I said, who harass us constantly because they have nothing else to do. Drive through our backyard, throw trash. It's just every day. We are to the point now, we don't know where else to go. What else to do? I don't want to sell my property, but
And this has been going on a long time.
Yes, long time.
Okay.
Show us the.
And I have lots of pictures for you.
Can you ever heard of this?
I'm not aware of this. So you say you live at 602 South East? That's
Yes,
what-
yes,
Okay, when you call up there, does an officer respond to your house?
yes,
Okay. Do you tell him that you saw this person throw out the trash?
yes, I mean,
Have you signed any
Anthony
complaints on
Anthony
anybody for doing that?
Weaver, yes. He has been to our house many times. Like I said, the fire department came down about the trash, the food scraps over the fence from the apartments on the other side. They came down, looked at some things, so they were gonna issue a letter to all the tenants. I don't know what came of that because nothing ever changed.
You know what the landlord's name are?
On one side it's Gardner, on the other side it's Crawford.
But what I'm saying is, you have the names of the people that's throwing the trash out there? You know who they are?
Not directly because the way our house sits, the privacy fence is in the back side of all those apartments.
Okay.
So it could be one of these 3 or 4, so it's, to know exactly which one, no, I don't.
I mean, if you can figure out who it is that's doing it, you can sign a complaint on it,
Right,
and get them in court.
right.
That's not a problem. It's kind of hard, for us to catch them.
Right,
Yeah.
right, I understand that.
Yeah. So we'll be glad to help you any way we can.
But at some point in time though,
Can you pass those pictures?
I can. At some point in time though, you also have to have, where are these landlords? When are they gonna start being responsible for these tenants?
Yep.
That's the biggest issue. There's double copies of everything.
I talked to the one landlord about it. He was supposed to talk to the tenants, property's been down there, but you can't find names and address in the trash.
The other house is a rental also?
Yes, the house that is directly next to us, there's nobody living in it at this point in time. See, like Gas and Water actually came down and cut all the power lines to it because it's just in bad shape. The house next to it is where the constant traffic, the constant harassment. They have, I think now, 2 trailers, I'm talking live-in trailers, in their backyard and a Winnebago as well. There are 4 vehicles out back. They're all just sitting. It's every day.
People are living in the trailers.
Yes, there are people living in those trailers.
Chief Malott, can we get Victor to go by and take a visit, take a look at that?
I've been by there once, we can go by there tomorrow.
It's all right.
So you don't live in this house?
I don't live in that house.
Okay.
Now I live in the White House. There's a picture of the house at my house.
So basically people are just busting in and...
Now that's where, when my grandfather went to the nursing home, I tried to go check on this house as often as I could. And people in the neighborhood just totally destroyed the house. Knocked down 2 walls, tore down the ceiling tile, tore all the electrical work out of the house.
It's the same.
We went in, we replaced the electrical wiring. 2 days later, it was all gone again. So we had to start over from scratch. Broke all the windows, and it's just been constant. But now that we live there, we don't seem to have as much problems with break-ins. It's just the constant harassment, the constant trash, the constant everything.
Where are they driving through your yard at?
It's, our backyard, it's a double lot. So the house that's next to us and the house next to it, they're owned by the same people. So when they back up to go down the alley, they just back right into the yard and they don't care. And there are no trespassing signs up. We put up 5, we may end up with 1. They're all torn down, they tear them down. So we put up 10 more, you may have 2 left, And at some point, these landlords have got to be responsible for this. I know that I'm responsible for my property. If you come by my house and my grass is growing up too high, I'm gonna get a ticket. If my trash is spread all over my front yard, I'm gonna get a ticket. You're gonna come to me. Why are they any different?
They're not.
The picture of the overgrown grass, is that the alley, is that the neighbor's
Yes,
house?
that's part of the alley. You see, they've run the alley now, they've worn down a driveway in between those 2 houses that circles around into the alley, so they use it as their drive.
Well,
What's wrong?
let's do Victor started on this.
In the police department.
You're gonna have to find trash with somebody's name in
Right.
order for him to be
Why?
able to take
And
it.
there have been times that we have
And
taken the
Victor's
trash to
willing
the
to look.
police department with people's names on it, but it's from, say, somebody who lived there 2 months ago, still getting mail there. Well, you can't say if it's the person who lives there now or if it's the person from 2 months ago.
Chief, you think we're probably gonna need to combine forces here for this?
I would say if you find a piece of paper with a name, don't pick it up.
Right,
Make sure you call.
right.
That's all.
You know, with all this going on, I have 2 small children. They can't go outside and play.
That's sad. Let us truly say it. It's disgusting.
But what are our options? I mean, it's so difficult for us to have, before we can legally get anything done, and yet they can continue to harass verbally and with trash.
If part of the vehicles drive through the yard, if we can get lots of them on them, we can run
We
them
did, and
down.
Anthony
We
came
have-
over, that just happened Friday night, and
Okay.
just so happened, the reason that picture looks so bad, I was in the house and my husband was outside, and he just happened to be out there at the time that it happened. So I was trying to take pictures real quick through the window, but Anthony did come down. They do have the license plate number. What has come of that, I don't know, because he's been back since
Yeah,
to the house next door, but
I mean, we can track them down to the license
Right.
plate. Once driving through your yard and damaging your signs, that's definitely
Right.
something we can do about.
What are they harassing, what are they saying to you?
well, it's like, the 2 properties next to us, they belonged to Gary Crawford before he passed, and now they belong to his wife Sandra. And my husband the other day went to run the mower around the backyard, because it's been sitting, for, time to get it up and going. And they, yelled at him, I don't know why he thinks he needs a lawnmower, I don't know why he thinks he needs to mow that yard, because everybody knows that we mow Crawford's yards. And it's everyday things like that, and then it's, you need to get your dog off my property. It's my property, it's my house, and they're constantly arguing with us about, there was a clothesline that was hanging in between 2 trees, and it's actually my property, my trees, my clothesline, if I wanna hang clothes on it, I can. No, that's not yours, you're gonna have to tear it down. Another situation where the police had to be called over a clothesline between 2 trees.
Now, this is just,
And it's just piddly, everyday things, but it's aggravating.
How long has this been going on this phone?
I've owned the house for a little over a year. So it's been pretty constant over that year.
and it's gotten worse.
Yes, it has gotten worse. It was really hard.
Same people next door?
Yes. And they have seemed to, it was one man that lived there, and now it's like multiplied, because there are a couple trailers back there, and
Like
there's
roaches.
I mean,
constant.
they moved in trailers and people are,
Yes, they're in the backyard in a privacy fence, in which they leave the gates open a lot, well, leave it open. You can see what's going on.
Isn't that against, is that against city?
Yes, it is.
They're probably feeding off the house, which they're,
Yes, and they are, you can see
That's-
boards
that's-
running,
as long as the
That's a
fence is
violation.
open, because you can't go over the fence.
right.
We'll get down there and barn.
And see, and that's another thing. I mean, I understand you're not supposed to go into people's privacy fences, but you can see it plain as day.
if you
If
can
it's
see it
in
plain
plain
as day,
view.
so can the police.
But also, isn't there,
So
how many
go for it.
people can be on that piece of property? Or can they, as many trailers as they squish in?
No, they can't have trailers, they can't move trailers in there,
Yeah.
anybody can move there.
Yeah,
Are the camper trailers? is what they-
Yes, yes.
Well, and they can't be living in it. I mean,
No.
that's a violation of our ordinances, that's why I was asking if people live in it.
yeah.
Yes.
They can't have people living in it.
So would it be appropriate to have Chief Malat, would you be willing to keep track of this and report back to us next meeting?
Yeah, I'll probably go down there and get on here.
Do his thing and let us drop that one?
It sounds like you might want to take an officer.
I was gonna say, Mr. Wilson, check on.
I'd be glad to work with them.
Yeah.
Make that lobster once a day.
Yeah.
We'll start working on it tomorrow.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
Keep us filled in, please.
I will.
Thank you, ma'am.
We can get a coordinated effort from the fire department so we can get a handle on this.
Hopefully we'll start working on it tonight.
Be nice. I would like to have some peace and quiet, I do work,
No, we didn't.
Do that.
We do have cameras up.
We need a motion to go in closed session.
Motion.
Second.
We have to, we have to go back.
Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Lincoln.